Leonardo da Vinci, artist and inventor. A graded reader, level A2. Chapter 1, The Boy from Vinci. Leonardo was born in 1452. He lived in a small village called Vinci. Vinci was in the beautiful hills of Tuscany. As a young boy, Leonardo did not go to a normal school. He did not study Latin or hard mathematics. Instead, he spent his time in nature. He walked in the forests and looked at the plants. He loved to watch the birds in the sky. He wanted to know how they stayed in the air. Leonardo always carried a small notebook with him. He drew the animals and the trees. He drew the movement of the water in the river. His drawings were very detailed. His father, Ser Piero, saw these drawings. He was very surprised by his son's talent. He knew that Leonardo was not a typical child. Leonardo had a special gift for art. Chapter 2, The Apprentice in Florence. When Leonardo was a teenager, his father took him to Florence. Florence was the center of art and new ideas. His father showed Leonardo's drawings to a famous artist. The artist's name was Andrea del Verrocchio. Verrocchio had a very big and busy workshop. He accepted Leonardo as his apprentice. In the workshop, Leonardo learned many things. He did not just learn how to paint. He learned how to make statues from bronze and marble. He learned about chemistry to make different colors. He also learned about geometry and mechanics. Leonardo worked very hard for Verrocchio. One day, Verrocchio asked Leonardo to help him with a painting. It was a painting of a religious scene. Leonardo painted a small angel in the corner. The angel was so beautiful and real. It looked better than the rest of the painting. Verrocchio saw the angel and felt very old. He said that Leonardo was already a better artist than him. Chapter 3, A Young Master. Soon, Leonardo became a master artist. He opened his own studio in Florence. He wanted to paint differently from other people. He studied light and shadow very carefully. He invented a technique called sfumato. This word means smoky in Italian. It made the edges of his paintings soft and blurry. His faces looked like they were breathing. However, Leonardo had a small problem. He was interested in too many things at the same time. He started many paintings, but he did not finish them. He often stopped painting to study insects or rocks. The people who paid him for art were sometimes angry. They wanted their paintings quickly. But Leonardo was a perfectionist. He wanted every detail to be exactly right. He was not just a painter, he was a student of the world. Chapter 4, The Move to Milan. In 1482, Leonardo decided to leave Florence. He moved to the city of Milan. He wanted to work for the Duke of Milan, Ludovico Sforza. Leonardo wrote a famous letter to the Duke. In the letter, he did not talk much about his art. He told the Duke that he was an engineer. He said he could build giant machines for war. He promised to make armored cars and fast bridges. The Duke was very interested in these ideas. He gave Leonardo a job in his palace. Leonardo lived in Milan for 17 years. He designed many things for the Duke. He planned beautiful gardens and new buildings. He also worked on a very large project. The Duke wanted a giant statue of a horse made of bronze. It was going to be the biggest horse statue in the world. Leonardo studied real horses for many months to prepare. Chapter 5, The Masterpiece on the Wall. While he was in Milan, Leonardo painted something famous. The Duke asked him to paint a wall in a dining room. This painting is called The Last Supper. It shows a famous story from the Bible. Leonardo wanted to show the emotions of the people. He wanted the viewers to feel the story. He did not use the normal way to paint on walls. He tried a new method because he wanted to take his time. He worked on the painting for 3 years. Sometimes he painted from morning until night without eating. Other times, he just stood and looked at the wall for hours. When it was finished, the painting was magnificent. The people in the painting looked like they were talking. Even today, thousands of people go to Milan to see it. It is one of the most important works of art in history. But Leonardo's mind was already moving to other things. He started to fill his notebooks with even more secrets. Chapter 6: Secrets of the Body. Leonardo was not only interested in how people looked on the outside. He wanted to know how the human body worked on the inside. He went to hospitals and studied real bodies. This was a very difficult and messy job. He studied the bones, the muscles, and the heart. He drew the first accurate pictures of a baby inside the mother. He wanted to understand how we breathe and how we walk. He believed that the body was a perfect machine. His drawings were so good that doctors use them to learn today. At that time, most people were afraid of these studies. But Leonardo wanted to find the truth about life. He filled many pages with notes about the human eye and the brain. He discovered things that other scientists found only centuries later. For Leonardo, science and art were the same thing. To paint a person, he needed to understand their soul and their skin. Chapter 7: Dreams of Flight. Leonardo spent many hours looking at the sky. He was obsessed with the way birds flew. He wrote a book called The Codex on the Flight of Birds. He dreamed that one day humans could fly too. He designed several flying machines. One machine looked like a giant bat with wooden wings. Another machine was like a modern helicopter. He also designed a parachute made of linen. He thought that a man could jump from a high place and stay safe. Many years later, people built his parachute. They discovered that it actually worked very well. In the 15th century, there were no engines. So, Leonardo's machines were too heavy to fly with just human power. But he never stopped dreaming about the clouds. He believed that human intelligence had no limits. Chapter 8: The Portrait of a Lady. In 1503, Leonardo started a new painting in Florence. It was a portrait of a woman named Lisa Gherardini. Today, the world knows this painting as the Mona Lisa. This painting is very famous for many reasons. First, the woman has a very mysterious smile. Sometimes she looks happy and sometimes she looks sad. Leonardo used his sfumato technique to make her look real. The background is a strange landscape with mountains and water. Leonardo loved this painting more than any other. He did not give the painting to the lady's husband. Instead, he kept it with him for the rest of his life. He traveled with the painting to different cities. He always added small details to make it perfect. Now, the Mona Lisa lives in the Louvre Museum in Paris. Millions of people wait in line every year just to look at her face. Chapter 9: The Final Years in France. In his old age, Leonardo became very famous across Europe. The King of France, Francis I, was a great fan of his work. In 1516, the king invited Leonardo to live in France. He gave Leonardo a beautiful house called Clos Louse. The house was very close to the king's royal castle. The king did not ask Leonardo to paint many pictures. He just wanted to talk to the great master every day. The king called Leonardo a father and a philosopher. Leonardo was very happy during these years. He continued to write in his notebooks and organize his ideas. His hair and beard were now long and white. He was tired, but his mind was still full of projects. He designed a mechanical lion that could walk and open its chest. It was a gift for the king to show the power of imagination. Chapter 10: The Secret Notebooks. Leonardo died in 1519 at the age of 67. He left all his notebooks to his friend, Francesco Melzi. These notebooks are some of the most important books in history. Leonardo wrote thousands of pages about everything. He wrote about music, cooking, war, and plants. But the most interesting thing was his handwriting. He wrote from right to left, like a mirror. You need a mirror to read his words easily. Some people think he wanted to keep his ideas secret. Others think it was just because he was left-handed. For hundreds of years, these notebooks were lost or hidden. When people finally found them, they were shocked. Leonardo had ideas for tanks, submarines, and calculators. He was a man who lived in the future while he was in the past. The end.